Unfortunately, we tend to use inefficient techniques when trying to learn a foreign language. There are tons of methods and most of them just don't work, or they may work but only for the A1 or A2 levels. Then your brain starts forgetting some words and substituting them with some other words just because our memory works this way. So I want to tell you today how we actually acquire new vocabulary and give you several tips on how you can do this faster and more efficiently in your learning. First of all, there is a very common misconception of how learning new words works for an adult learner. I mean, the process of learning is often misunderstood. Now, here is the natural process. You bump into a new word by doing an exercise or by reading something in your target language. This new word is hard to remember at once, especially if it's a pretty complicated word. You try to remember it. Now look up the meaning in the dictionary, and at this moment this word is sent to your passive vocabulary. So you already know the meaning of the word, and if you read it within the next few weeks or hear someone say this word, you will most likely recognize it and understand the text you're reading or listening to. But at this moment the word is still in your passive vocabulary, so if you ever need to use it, you aren't likely to immediately remember it. And you probably won't use it in your speaking or writing unless you make some effort and push yourself towards using this word whenever it's appropriate. Here comes the big difference, and a lot of language teachers actually make this mistake. They never control if their students keep using the new vocabulary. If you think about it, it seems pretty common sense. When we learn a foreign language, we tend to learn new vocabulary from a box of words, and then we make exercises that make us use this word in various types of context and see how it works in text. The thing is that those exercises aren't enough to actually learn this word and make it part of your active vocabulary. This explains a very common phenomenon when a person understands a foreign language but can't speak it. And this is what happened to me when I was learning German. I can totally understand German speech, but it's still hard for me to say something in German. And here is why. When I was learning German, I was doing it using old methods and old books. I didn't know about how it all worked, and that you actually needed to make an effort and push the words and phrases into your active vocabulary. Now, the thing that I'm telling you now may save you years of learning. Don't try to learn as many words in idioms as your brain can remember. That just doesn't make sense. Instead, you should try to incorporate everything that you've learned in your practice. I mean in speaking and writing practice, because this is how we enrich our active vocabulary. Now, unfortunately, the majority of language learners will use bad methods of learning new words. Here are the most common mistakes. They just keep learning the words without even trying to use them in their speech. Or they don't learn the words hoping that they can acquire new vocabulary naturally through watching some cartoons or speaking with native speakers. Both ways will lead to your language level going to a certain plateau, and you will just stop growing and developing. Now, here is what I can offer to you when it comes to learning new words. Just try this simple method that doesn't require any additional skills, books, courses or whatever. So first of all, you need to learn new words. Just do this the way you usually do, through reading a book, googling a set of words for a certain topic, or with your teacher or tutor on the lesson. After you learn the words, look up their meaning, try to remember their spelling. Don't worry if it's hard for now. Exercises will help you put these new words into your passive vocabulary. You may ask your teacher to give you exercises for vocabulary, find them online, or even use ChatGPT to generate new exercises for you. Just feed the new words to the chat and ask it to create various vocabulary exercises to drill these words. Now it's time to push the new words into your active vocabulary. To do this, you need to speak. It's cool if you have a partner to speak to. If you don't have a partner, you can speak with your cat. with the mirror or with ChatGPT, it doesn't make any difference at this point. Just speak and deliberately use these new words. It shouldn't be just once. Make some examples of sentences with these words. Think of various situations where you can actually need them. After that, you should keep these new words in mind the next time you're speaking to someone using the target language. Once you start using these words automatically, without actually keeping them in mind all the time, you may be sure that they are now in your active vocabulary. One mistake people keep making is they learn all the words this way. You don't need absolutely all words of a foreign language to be in your active vocabulary. Depending on what the target language is, approximately 30% of what you learn will end up getting into your active knowledge. Everything else will be in the passive layer of your mind. But anyway, when you are learning new words, trying and pushing them into your active knowledge is the best thing you can do to remember those words for a long time. This also works with grammar rules and all other aspects of language, but there are some peculiarities which I will cover in my next videos, so subscribe to my channel and stay updated.